Yo, what is up, everybody? Let's go back again with another horror story for you guys. This one is called The Cave, written by Old School Horror. Remember to use the links in the description to show love to the author, check out their stories, like, comment, and subscribe. Chapter 1. Daddy, we found a cave up in the hills. Come see, said 11-year-old Katie Hudson to her father Tom, who was working in the backyard. Their house was at the edge of town, named Redwater. Peaceful as it seemed to be, the town had its secrets. Deep in the darkness, they were waiting to be discovered. Tom Hudson looked up and squinted. The sun was shining straight into his eyes. It was already way past noon, but it still had the power to hurt the man's eyes. Katie and her brother Alex were running downhill to meet their father and bring him the exciting news. Wait, what cave? I've never heard of any cave being around here. It is, said Alex, who was only 9 years old and much more excited than his older sister. It wasn't there yesterday, but it is now, I swear. Really? And where did you spot that cave? His hair was not getting gray yet, said Tom. His youthful looks and Viking-like cheeks made him an impressive presence. Up there, continued Alex, and pointed toward the wood hill behind them. Just beyond those rocks. Alright, well, it must have been yesterday's earthquake which caused it to open up. It was not a big deal, but a small to medium intensity earthquake shook this part of California. On the news, they saw that in Nevada, it was a little harsher. They were lucky, Tom thought, that even though their town is close to the neighboring state, here, the damage was mild. He had to do some minor repairs on the house, and now Tom was working on the wooden fence which separated their yard from the forest hillside behind. An old tree fell on it and broke several of the boards. The tree was dead even when the Hudsons moved to Redwater 4 years ago, but Tom had been too lazy to deal with it. Now he had to work more, thus paying the price for his laziness. Wait, if the earthquake had opened it up, that means that nobody had been inside before. Yeah, I guess that's right, Katie. Are we going to explore it? Said Alex, while jumping up and down with his enthusiasm over the roof. What are you going to explore? Can I come too? These questions belong to Stevie Duncan, their neighbor's only child. No, Stevie, we will explore nothing. Might be dangerous. Oh, come on, Dad, please, said Katie. Please, Dad, we want to see. Come on, we want to see, Alex continued, with his eyes wide open. Tom knew that he had to do something. He admitted to himself that he was too curious about that cave. The only thing he wanted to avoid was putting his children in danger. But then he thought that if he doesn't take them there himself, they will go there on their own. Children are curious by nature, he thought while hammering a nail through 2 pieces of plank. They want to explore. The only obstacle in their way are the adults who force them to conform to all kinds of bullshit, social norms, and habits. What's all the fuss about? asked Greg Duncan, Stevie's father. He was taking out the trash when he heard the pleading children. "We will go on an adventure. Isn't that right, Dad?" said Katie. I don't know, Katie. Just let me finish this, and I'll think about it." "Think about what? What are you all up to?" asked Greg. The kids said they've seen some cave, which wasn't there yesterday." "Yeah, we found it. It was the earthquake," Alex cut in. "Yesterday's earthquake might have shifted some rocks around. Probably just a hole in the rock, nothing more." "It's a cave, Dad. We've seen it." All right. It's a cave then. "Then, why don't you go and see it?" asked Greg. "I would go, but I have to go to my in-laws to give them a hand. An earthquake knocked over a few shingles down at their house, so I just go give them a quick hand." After hearing how casually is Greg talking about the trip, Tom decided that they should go. Shouldn't take them more than an hour. "Dad, can I go with them?" Stevie asked his father. "Yes, of course you can. Have some fun. I'll be back before nightfall. You'll be hungry after all that adventure." "All right, Dad. I'll be back before dinner." Greg left Tom with the 3 hyperactive and overly curious children. He decided to pause his work and get going. The more he hesitates, the more restless the kids will be, and they'll step on his nerves. Tom went back inside the house to tell Laura, his wife, that he's taking the kids on a hike, but they'll be back soon. He agreed and kissed them goodbye. The children waved to her from the backyard, waved back through the kitchen window. In Tom's garage, there were some flashlights. They were waterproof. Tom liked to buy quality products. He didn't want them to give up on him on a rainy night. He grabbed 2 and checked his phone. They still had enough time to come back before sunset. A strong feeling took over him. He couldn't wrap his head around it. What the hell, he thought. It was like a void in his guts, a weird, empty feeling. Tom shook his head and headed toward the back where the children were waiting for him. Maybe it's a sign, he thought. A midlife crisis had begun. Who knows? I have to buy a Harley, then be on my way. Reaching the kids, he spotted something on Alex's forearm. It was a red spot, a rash, or a bite maybe. Tom took the little boy's arm in his hands to inspect the wound. It looked like a mosquito or spider bite. Considering that the wooded area behind their house is home to all kinds of bugs, it was most likely one of the above. Nevertheless, they started uphill towards the tree line. And now, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of chapter 1.